track with me.
Hello, gentle viewers. Today, we have something special for Throwback Thursday. We have a special guest. And here he is.
Hello.
Enough of the weird voice. I know. Alright, my friend. I know. Alright. So today we're going to be doing Dick Tracy.
Play my game. Play my game.
But I don't have that game. Oh God! Kirby. Okay. Yes. How to draw Kirby. A very useful little thing for people that enjoy things like this. And after you get that little brief sequence, you get to see the actual starting scene, which is awesome. Now, if you don't do anything, it'll actually go through and give you a demo sequence that'll show you all the different abilities that Kirby can do, which is pretty cool. The graphics are appealing. It did come out near the end of the NES lifecycle, so I can't say that I expected anything less. Not to mention, it's a good company. It's really good. Alright. Now, let's get into the game. The game itself is a standard side-scroller platformer, but with some different elements, like the overworlds. Instead of just being like Mario where you choose a level, you actually get to, fly around and go around and do things and do bonus levels as well. At the end of every level, instead of a flagpole, you get this thing where you have to jump high with the trampoline. Now, after you beat the levels, you get the flags and unlock other areas, including this area, which is one of multiple mini-games. This one, the whole goal is to pick up the Kirbys to get extra lives. And if you know Crane Claw games, it's just as difficult. But if you get good at it and practice enough, you should be able to get it all the way over every time. Which is interesting to say because it took me more than 20 years to be able to do this without having to worry so much. So new players may find it a little bit difficult, and a lot of times we'll just avoid these. Yeah, the game is enjoyable to a point, but I don't know. It seems like it's trying to be too many things at once. The game has a lot of different aspects to it that I enjoy, like the different enemies and the flying. But the water level areas I don't like because you're kind of defenseless down there and you can't get your power back and you lose it. But the bosses themselves are pretty easy for the most part. You can take them apart real easily and you get a new power every time you defeat one. Like this one's the ice block. But the game does progressively get harder as it goes. Not as hard as games like Mario or Metroid or anything like that. It stays pretty consistently easy throughout, but it does ramp up to actually make you do different things and master everything you've learned. It's enjoyable. I'm running into problems with the control though. Because every time you push up, you have a chance of it making you go up and fly. But it doesn't always do it. Why couldn't I just, push the A button? Push that and jump and hold it, and then it'll suck in. Why can't it do that? Why do I have two separate buttons? Why do I have up to pop up and fly and A to jump? Why can't they be the same button? I understand them wanting to try to differentiate between the two, but that's why you have the push the button to jump and hold to float. That's what I would do. Now, the game does have some different aspects to it, like the spaceship here, which I thought was a great touch. But once you get hit a single time in this spaceship, it's gone. So it makes the levels not as enjoyable, and you have to fly most of the time. So it's kind of hard to do. But if you enjoy stuff like this might be your favorite level, like it is for me. The game doesn't have too many frustrations to it, except for, whenever you get hit, you lose your power. So I can't say it's super angering, but it's a little bit frustrating that you get hit and you grab the item, and right before you're able to start using it again, after you suck it back in, you get hit again, and it goes bye-bye. The game's finale is a giant endurance round where you defeat the main enemy that you've been fighting against this whole game, which took me way too long. Right now what you're seeing is actually fast forwarded by more than 4 times. It's approximately 5.5 times speed, and it still took a little while. But once you defeat this guy, which pretty easy to do in general, just gotta be good at the game, you get this little comical video scene, and the true enemy comes, and it changes from a side-scroller platformer to a shooter. Now, the shooter segment is actually pretty enjoyable, but like I said, it's trying to do too many things at the same time, so you weren't prepared for that. And once you defeat the side-scrolling shooter, it changes again to resemble something close to Contra, which is odd to say, to the very least. It's pretty enjoyable though. And once you finally are able to defeat this guy, which took me approximately 20 minutes to actually get through this portion, so it's patience and just hope that you don't have to die, because if you die, you end up having to do all the boss battles again. So, but once you defeat him, you actually get to see the credit sequence and the finishing of the story, which I left in here just to show a little bit of it, but I'm probably gonna have to request for you to actually play it yourself to fully see through all of it. All in all, I would give this game 3 potatoes. The graphics are good, characters cute. The game's too repetitive, too easy at points. You can literally skip levels by just flying through them. Kind of disappointing. What'd you think? Okay, man.
I give this game 5 potatoes.